Hey folks, and welcome back to some more MLB The Show, Boston Red Sox franchise, and the Worcester Red Sox franchise, and the Portland Sea Dogs franchise. Yes, we are going to be starting in the minor leagues today, starting off in Worcester, talking about what the team has done, watch a game with them, and then any top 100 prospects that are on that team we'll be individually talking about. Then drop down to AA. We'll have some scouting at the end of this video to kind of see where we've been doing, who we've been looking at, and if there's been any finds early on in the season. Usually only one or two or three players to talk about there, with a big scouting portion coming a little bit later on in the next episode or the episode after that. So without further ado, let's check on what AA has given, or AAA has given us first in the hitting side of things. Well, first up, Mikey Romero. He's been really good, 279 average. He has been solid, pluses in the contact. He's been leading off against righties. Theo Gillen has been fantastic for the Worcester Red Sox. 5 home runs, 10 doubles, hitting 280, OPS of 803, 15 walks, only 25 strikeouts in 42 games. He has been pretty good. Didn't get the great year last year, but starting to really improve in areas. And right now, his bat probably is major league ready. Just very even keel across the board, and we can kind of mold him however we want to trade from Tampa Bay. Tyler Soderstrom has been down here, just came back from injury after missing a little bit of time. 9 home runs, though, 811 OPS. Kind of just wanted him to be like a major league ready bat in case something happens with a Tristan Casas or even like a Carlos Narvaez. He can be our backup catcher, and he's been sliding in at first base so far. Kevin Alcantara back in AAA, having a better stint this year than he did last year. 765 OPS is pretty good, so we are excited about what's going on with him. AJ Vukovic, just some depth for us, an 815 OPS. Some high OPSs so far. The offense is really settled in, really good against lefties, and we continue to have that trend of guys who can play multiple positions, slide in against lefties if we need to. Speaking of, Weston Wilson, the epitome of that philosophy. 42 games so far in AAA, 757 OPS. And we have him for next year. A couple more years of arbitration. We're going to use him until his wheels start falling off. And as of right now, no regression notably from him. Ashton Fuqua, tougher start to begin the year. Again, not going to offer much power. It's going to be hit for average, get on base, not strike out a whole bunch, put the ball in play a bunch. It does have a cannon arm behind the plate, but doesn't really offer that offensively. Only a 594 OPS. He also missed a little bit of time as well. Romy Gonzalez down here. He's starting to drop. He's probably going to be off the team next year. And Chandler Simpson down here, again, mostly just for speed. Just keeping him around because he has those wheels and the position flexibility as well. Walker Janik is a white guy, not like what his face was just a minute ago. 239 average backup catcher, some depth catcher, pretty good depth catcher as well. 70 overall at 25 years old. So especially once a guy like Narvaez are sitting arbitration, we can just call up Walter Janik and he can be the backup catcher who basically has the same ratings as Narvaez anyway. John Rhodes, some depth. Carlos Cortez, some depth. And Hogan Windish, also some depth. Pitching-wise, for the Worcester Red Sox, that's lineups again. I'm silly. Luis Perales has not looked good. This is a guy who we thought, hey, maybe he could be making his major league debut this year. He might be going back down to AA. I mean, you just got to really work through it. His recent games, it just hasn't been good for him. It just hasn't been good. These are his last 10 games, so this is all the game-by-game stuff. The real first 4 starts, really bad. It's been a little bit better as of recently, especially this stretch right here of 14 innings, just 3 earned runs. But we'll see from Luis Perales, see if he can turn it around. Connolly Early continues to pick up right where he left off in spring, is absolutely dominating. He is knocking on the door. Christian McGowan, another guy that we acquired this past offseason, I believe. He's been doing just fine. Shane Durhan on the team, just his depth. He's been not great. And then Brian Mata, he continues to really push the envelope as well for himself. If we do need some help in the bullpen or the starting rotation, it's him and Early who are looking as the first 2 call-ups. Jairo Solis we got in free agency as well. He throws hard. Cooper Criswell, he's been doing really nice. Chris Murphy, he's been doing awesome as well. Clay Helvey had a really good year last year. Is doing okay so far here. Brennan Colucci, we moved up to AAA to be just a lefty in the bullpen. Luis Guerrero, he himself has also really raised those walk per nines. Now looks like a major league ready-ish pitcher if he wants to. Sam Bachman, up and down. We acquired him in 2025. Or at the end of 2025, hasn't made the big league club yet, but he's had some solid seasons, and just a guy that we can kind of keep around for a little bit. And then Zach Kelly again continues to be impressive. However, he's actually starting to regress a bit. So interesting to see what we do with Zach Kelly here moving forward, but has been a very viable piece. Let's jump into a game with these guys, and I guess before that, let's just look at the top prospects list and see what we were doing. A lot of our top prospects actually hurt, so we do not have a top 10 prospect. We do in Dominique Lez, who we won't be seeing in this video due to his broken arm. He comes in at number 10. Our number 18 prospect, John Norman, we moved him down to single A after a start in double A. His ratings continue to go up. He will be in part of this video. DJ Park, he won't be a part of this video. He is out until July, so we actually have to give him another injury to push him a little bit forward. But DJ Park, he won't be. He would have been in double A as he is here, and we won't see him until about after the trade deadline before he's ready to go. But is working on Major League service here quite soon. We do have to go all the way down with the graduation of Norihashi. We don't have another top 100 prospect at all. Peter Barnes was our only other guy. So while we are here in AAA, the only other top prospect you would have had a chance to do a little player lock with was DJ Park. And he's probably also going to be in AA. So we'll talk about him and Dominique Lez after this game here. And after we have our game with Portland. So we will see in just a minute as we hop in to one of these games, probably against Indiana, and most likely the Connolly early start. So the Worcester Red Sox taking on the Indianapolis Indians here in a AAA matchup. Again, following our AAA team, as we look at the entirety of the team before we focus in on our top prospects. Now, a couple of our top prospects, like we mentioned before, we'll kind of mention later on in the video. DJ Park maybe would have been here. Him being hurt until July definitely sucks, but we will have Connolly early on the mound. Someone who potentially close to the major leagues with this 1.93 ERA and 46 2/3 innings pitched. A guy that has been looking very good in his few seasons with us. And then an 0-2 count on former major leaguer Nick Gonzalez. He gets him on the swinging strike 3. Later on, Akil Baddoo, another former big leaguer. Doesn't quite get him to strike out, but Kevin Alcantara is over there to put it away for the final out. So Connolly early, one of the top guys we're looking for. A guy like Kevin Alcantara, another guy that we're really looking at as some of the bigger prospects here in AAA. Anthony Solometo is up as Romy Gonzalez, our homie Romy. It's all about Romy and his big fat sister Naomi. Shout out Beanie Man. Shout out Romy Gonzalez as he's in there with a single for the first base runner of the day. However, you didn't really get much more than this. Obviously, he's out for some reason, maybe trying to steal a base or whatever. Ashton Fuqua, another guy that we are very high on, doesn't have the B potential that a lot of these other guys do, the Alcantaras of the world and the Theo Gillens of the world that we'll see again today, but could be one of the better players to come from AAA to make the major leagues. Here he is later on in the second inning with 2 runners on. Does get the pop out there on the bunt attempt, which brings in Tony Blanco Jr. A big curveball his way. He smacks it. Vukovic on his horse. He'll have to play it off the wall. 1 run comes in the score. Second runner has some speed, some trouble out there in left field, and that is 2-run inning. as the Indians come up to a 2-0 lead. And then it was our good friend, the speediest man in all of the world. I just saw his name. I don't know. The guy, Chandler Simpson, he's out there. Mike Romero, he's getting hits. We're, again, having some fun here. Mike Romero does get a big hit. Another guy who's sneaky is maybe looking more like a trade piece at this point. Again, with a guy like Marcelo Meyer, Christian Campbell, Manning second base. For the time being, Mike Romero is, I think, a good talent, but just really doesn't have a fit on this team. And then, again, in the outfield, we have it stacked. So it's going to be interesting to see where these guys end up being and who really is in our long-term plans. Obviously, bench roles aplenty. As Weston Wilson, speaking of bench roles, a guy who's really looking for a bench role this upcoming season, he goes down the line and gets a double. Can Norman Gonzalez bring these boys in a little late on the fastball? Because of that, it does pop out to right center field, and that will do it for the inning. So we threaten, get a couple of hits, but can't get anyone across. In the fourth, Rob Fleming, one of the top prospects around the league, gets struck out by Connolly early, which is a good sign to see. I like especially kind of building the not the aura. Did I just say aura as a 26-year-old man? Well, Gary Sanchez said, don't do that anymore. You're a fucking loser. Here's a 400-plus foot swing deposited into right field, 419. So as we build this world that's nice, especially when you have these minor league episodes, to go up and be like, oh, we remember this guy from this draft, and especially I do go in and edit these guys. It takes, a good 2-3 hours every time a new season starts, but I enjoy it because, I don't know, that's, I guess, my autism showing, my autistic quality is that. Does get a good double play, but, let these guys become more household names. Our guys, obviously, we talk about all the time, but having the league kind of be something that everyone knows is interesting to me and something that I enjoy in the series that I watched on YouTube growing up and what I'm trying to bring to you guys here. Ashton Fuqua trying to bring you some singles. That is what he's going to do. Single. He's going to have these weird exit velocities, just know where to put the ball, high contact, high plate skills, decent defender, not fast at all. This is going to be our starting catcher sooner rather than later. Next year is a real big year for him. Theo Gillen, lefty on lefty, and he pops it up. Change up inside, just swung late as I always do, and that will end the fourth inning. Worcester down 3-0, but Connolly early for the most part has been really, really good. Again, we've been seeing some highlights. Everyone else is, nasty curveball up or out in front, way out in front is Blanco Jr. And then the other Blanco, they got two Blancos on the field, and they both get punched out by early here. Then we go back to Nick Gonzalez. Already got him once and gets him a second time. So Connolly early is rolling. A few strikeouts here, and then we don't quite get another one, but another double play. Connolly early, again, did get hit around a little bit. One of the, worst starts of his year. A quality start is one of his worst starts of the year. That's just how good he has been. He is knocking on the major league door soon. Just need an opportunity to open up for him. Ashton Fuqua, 1-2 count in the sixth. And again, just continues to get base hits. This one hit a little bit harder than we're used to seeing from him, but still on the ground in another two-hit day for our future backstop. Brings up Tyler Soderstrom, the guy that we signed late in free agency to kind of be some first base depth for us, and he is well behind that fastball. Four-seamer right by him, and Soderstrom is down on strikes. And Anthony Solometo, we saw him a little bit in the Rockies franchise later in that series, especially when the Pirates became a little rival with us later in that series. And here he is kicking our ass yet again. Chandler Simpson gets all the way to this Jackson Glenn double and keeps it a double, not quite a triple. Romero tosses it into Gillen in a leadoff double in the eighth inning. Connolly early still working, just at 77 pitches, and gets Akil Baddoo to pop up again. So not only working with really deep into this game, but doing a great job with runners in scoring position to further his outing. he's just been awesome. Conley early, doing awesome stuff. Rob Fleming will get him this time. This will kind of find that small gap, let it roll all the way to Simpson right before the track. And extra bases for Rob Fleming. A double for him, his 9th, and that will finally be the day for Conley early. We'll bring in another guy who's having a really, really good year and knocking on the door. It's Luis Guerrero, and he gets a swinging a pop-up. Weston Wilson tracks it down there at second base. And to the 9th we go. Can we put together a little rally here? It's going to have to be against Kyle Nicholas, who's been pretty good, and with 2 down in the inning, an 0-1 count. Tyler Soderstrom, he has some power, gets a slider, but just under it, and that will do it. So notable guys, we really didn't see anything out of Soderstrom. We didn't really see much out of Theo Gillen today. We didn't see much of Kevin Alcantara today. Ashton Fuqua did get a couple hits. Mike Romero did have a nice hit. Weston Wilson, a nice double. Those are kind of like the big guys that we were out here to look for. So a mixed bag results here in AAA. After seeing our AAA squad, again, really an interesting place that AAA team is. A lot of those guys are the next man up. A lot of those guys are ready. It's not exactly star-studded. There aren't a lot of like A potential guys or high B potential guys, but guys who, like the Conley Earlys, the Luis Peralez's, the Weston Wilsons, the Mikey Romeros, the Kevin Alcantaras, Tyler Soderstroms, of that world, Theo Gillens, they're coming up, and maybe they're not the high-profile guys who can jump in and be stars. A lot of those guys live here, but those guys are going to be parts of these teams moving forward. So let's check out the Double-A squad. First off, Nelly Taylor had an exceptional year last year and is continuing that with another exceptional year here, playing a lot of center field for us. He's kind of almost ready for AAA, almost ready for the big leagues. That 70-75 realm is where you want to be before you start thinking about calling guys up. So he's maybe 1-2 more years away. Probably a lot of these guys end up becoming trade pieces in the offseason to kind of just recoup and replenish, give a team that needs someone right now at a lower overall time. Then we get somebody and just continue that cycle here. But Nelly Taylor looking good. Alan Castro, not so much. Another guy who as well jumped way up with a really good season last year. Sliding down under the Mendoza line. But again, kind of in that conversation where maybe wasn't in our plans originally. Got a potential boost from a D to a C. Now he's like, all right, this might be a guy for us at some point. Tyler Miller playing first base. Nothing really to talk about here. DJ Gladney, who has corner responsibilities with us. He is 984 OPS, and he has been outstanding. Hedbert Perez, very excited for Hedbert Perez, a guy we got, I believe, in season 1 for Aroldis Chapman. Finally, last year, hurt himself after the first game. Finally, he's getting a full season worth of work, really showing off against lefties, which is nice to see. But at 756 OPS, I'm very excited to use him for the first time in this series. Zan Zanatello, he continues to rise up, has a really nice bat, and is continuing to improve. Eduardo Tate, a guy we got in minor league free agency a couple of years ago, was a high pick from Philadelphia, I believe. 554 OPS, not too fantastic. Jalen Palmer continues to just not be good. I might finally just cut bait because I'm just sick and tired of these negative numbers. I don't know why he doesn't play well. And then Bob Hernandez, who now is our trade chip number 1 with the A potential now, continues to steady rise, a really great glove. Luis Ravello, just here for depth, here for glove, 24 years old. He's fine. Drew Earnhardt, same thing. Jace Bowen, same thing. And Robert Poisson, a little bit better, I think, than all of these guys, but same thing, mostly depth. We look at the pitching rotation side of things. Again, missing a couple of key guys, and we'll talk about them in just a second. We will be bringing up some guys to fill in. On the Double-A video, I like to bring in some of our Single-A guys with high potential. Bring them up, let them get some playing time just for the video, kind of show them off. Ronaldo Torres, not going to get much better, but is a guy that we've talked about, probably going to be a real nice bullpen piece for us at some point. David Sandlin, a flamethrower, continues just to raise up. Torres, not the best of years so far, but Sandlin on fire right now. Todd Rudy, who I think we're going to be using here, very much in the mold of Ronaldo Torres, where it's high strikeout stuff, but does it a lot differently. This guy has a 96 mile per hour fastball where Torres reaches 90 maybe. But Rudy is having a good go around in his first year starting. His first go around here in professional baseball has been just fine. Lucas Braun, who's been awesome. We got him from a trade, I believe, last year at the trade deadline, just to get some more depth in the pitching side of things, and he's been excellent in Double A. And Tino Saucedo, just here for depth. He's been okay. Colin Pennick, who might be replacing Saucedo here soon, has got 32 innings worth of work in 9 games, 3.58 ERA. Our 6th-round pick from Season 1 continues to improve steadily. Jack Anderson, Austin Vernon, Keyshawn Askew, Tyler Birch, Jacob Webb, Anthony Hupituioni Toa, and Ivan Velasquez, excuse me. A lot of these guys have deep potential. A lot of these guys are just depth here. Birch is the only guy with C. Askew has C. He might move himself into plans. And Jack Anderson probably won't get high enough rated. Just guys as of right now. But we will be talking about a couple of our guys here. Who are we going to call up? Well, let's talk about some of these guys in the low minors first. Earl Hernandez, our 2nd-round pick last year, steadily improving. 94 stamina. He can go all day. Hashtag Captain America. Hashtag pause. Decent pitch mix. He's going to be a guy, but ways away, just 53 overall. Louis Friedberg and Josh Green as well, picks from last year's draft. But finally, we have pitching depth where we can put these guys in the minors, just let them steadily build, and we don't have to kind of push them like we pushed Pennick, like we pushed Peter Barnes from a couple years ago. Finally, again, have some depth to kind of let these guys breathe. And no one in the relief side of things, but John Norman will be coming up to play for in this video. And we will see his Double-A stats right here. They weren't fantastic. In 17 games, did have a couple extra base hits, but was just OPSing 535. And it was even worse than that. Had basically all those home runs and all the extra base pop in the very beginning, and this really was having a struggle fest here. But we will be bringing him up. We will be highlighting him for a couple of games. Their only top 100 prospect that is going to be shown off really in this video. So there is John Norman. Dominic Les would have been such a key part of this video as he has been the last two, but with a broken arm, still a ways away. He will not be participating here today. Taylor Duvall in Single A, just still a ways away, a 2026 guy. These guys are very interesting. The college guys who are just booty cheeks overall but have really good potential. They're going to evolve. They're eventually going to get to a point where they're going to be a contributor with you or with another team. He might not break big league camp until he's 27, 28. And then we still have 3 more years of probably development with that. So he might not be starting to be a major leaguer until he's like 30 or so. Maybe he's a trade piece by that time, or maybe we get like a guy who's going to be good for super cheap for his whole life. I don't know. We're fine at first base with Casas here. We just signed him to an $18 million a year, 5-year, $90 million extension until 2032. We're chilling. We're good. We're fine. So we have time to wait here. Second base is interesting. A bunch of guys who are see potential. Conrad Kaysen is interesting. Framey De Leon, less interesting. And Dusty Herzog, even less interesting than that. Neil Smalls, another guy kind of like in the Duvall category, except for he's just 18 years old, so he has more time. This is more what I'd like to see these types of prospects be. Far away, decent potential, but 18 or so. We will not be seeing him today. We will be seeing, however, Tom Frazier, 2nd round pick in 2026, has good power against righties, decent contact against lefties. We'll be getting him in, and he will be getting some run with us in Double-A today. Left field, Joe Swift also will be jumping up. Good power at 51 power against both sides. A switch hitter in the corner outfield spot. Very excited to see him get some run today. And just Isaiah Green, Zach Erhard are some depth. Slowly move the roster around as we have called up 3 guys. She got called down 3 guys for the week. And we will see Double-A action right here, followed by a highlight of our top 3 prospects. To Double-A we go, taking on or looking at the Portland Sea Dogs. We just broke down the team. We kind of talked about all the big players and what we are really looking at here. And it's not really looking at Taylor Walls, but I guess we got Taylor Walls on our screen. There are the boys, John Norman, Bob Hernandez, and the rest. So we are taking on, it looks like, Avery Weems, former draft pick by the Giants, still toiling in Double-A. And so far, 1, 2, 3 inning finishes off with a strikeout on Eduardo Tate to end our first inning. We are looking at Todd Rudy. Todd Rudy's a very, very, very interesting player. 18 years old. This is a guy that we think more of more as a relief pitcher type. Can start games, but just kind of his skill set. High strikeouts, but we'll give up these hits. And Reggie Crawford, a two-way player, playing just one way in this game because this game can't really figure out how to make us have fun. He does get on and then does get a strikeout here, and he had himself a ball game, if I do remember correctly. 0-2 count to Workman. Yep, nasty curveball for Rudy. 0-2 count for Maui Ahuna. Yeah, what's going to happen here, buddy? He does actually hit it pretty hard. And Joe Swift out there in right field isn't going to get to it. Hedbert Perez playing center today is going to get to it in this cavernous field. We have Richmond is their home ballpark, and that is a triple by Maui Ahuna. So shout out Maui Ahuna. Josh Caron does swing and miss with runners on the corners. Another strikeout for Rudy. And then trying to get out of the jam, a high curveball that just freezes the runner, the batter there. So great effort by Rudy so far. Has got hit a little bit, but has got that strikeout to play. Nelly Taylor, first real good offensive highlight we see. Almost missed potentially a double or really a line out. But he is able to get to first base after the deflection. And then Bob Hernandez has been killing it, as always. Goes the other way late on the curveball, but is able to fist it. And Hernandez, we've talked about it multiple times, has went from a B potential to an A potential, probably our biggest trade asset. And with the trade deadline coming around soon, maybe a guy that we will dump off potentially. Tom Frazier, another guy who makes that decision. I do like Tom Frazier a good amount. I think he's going to be a pretty good ball player in this league one day, hopefully with us. But he makes that decision even a little bit easier. It's 1-0 Portland. And then DJ Gladney, who's had a monstrous year at the plate, especially in the power department, does flare this one out to left field. It will bring in the run. No throw even to home. They go to second base with it. It's 2-0 Dogs, just like that. Eduardo Tate, 0 for 1 with a strikeout. We did strike out at the end of the first inning. Another guy that we are decently high on, just a C potential guy, but already seems like he is major league almost. I guess that's the word. He's major league almost. He actually is better against lefties than righties and does dump a single into left field there. And then that brings up John Norman, one of our crown jewels, and he absolutely punishes this baseball. How it stay in the yard, God only knows. But look at that double by John Norman. I'm excited to see what he does in the player lock moments that we're going to have coming up here. But John Norman, an absolute stud in the making. He gets down and dirty to get that one. Zan Zanatello with 2 on. Can he really bust this one open? And he won't. Walls, a really good defensive shortstop, does flick across the diamond to retire the Sea Dogs finally, but a big couple of swings, especially by John Norman there. 0-2 count. Walls, see ya. Bye. A electric fastball from Todd Rudy. Again, has a real good mix on him. Just really is an intriguing pitcher. And then Bob Hernandez, big boy Bob, absolutely scorches this one. 400-plus feet. And a guy that just has a nice swing, too. 428 feet farther than the Gary Sanchez home run we saw earlier. And, yeah, this kid is a weapon. And the bat's the farthest thing away from the major leagues. The glove can play today. the speed and athleticism could go in our lineup right now. But it's that bat, and he continues to show off. And Dylan Cumming? Ew. Dylan Cumming, that's gross. Nasty pitch, I'll give it to him. Bob Hernandez doesn't care what your name is. Edward Perez having a really, really, really good year at the plate. 3 for 4 in his last game, as it says. And this one almost takes Cummings' head off. Ew. Gross. We'll drive in a run, and Hedbert Perez stock continues to rise. We got him in the Aroldis Chapman deal in season number 1. 44 to not last long here in Boston. And he ends up being a really good player. Got hurt last year. Didn't really, as he was having a good start to the year, finally able to really show it off. Rudy continues to dominate. 7 shutout innings with a whole bunch of strikeouts. He has been magnifico today. And yeah, this doesn't look like an 18-year-old. This is a kid who's a little bit more mature than that. Nelly Taylor as well continues to rise on our board in terms of how he is viewed internally. Does send this one all the way to right field. Allows both runners to move up and one to score as it's 7-0. Portland Zanatello does get the RBI. And then we go all the way into the 9th inning. Keyshawn Askew, another free agent that we picked up who's having a really tremendous year with us, closes us out. And the Sea Dogs come away victors. So again, this team has most, and for the remainder of the series, AA will have most of our potential, it looks like. And we saw some of that potential. Obviously didn't get to see a guy like DJ Park. Didn't get to see a guy like Dominique Alez. But we will get to see John Norman here as he takes on the Flying Squirrels. We have a few games for him. We're playing him at first base. Let's take a look at the profile for Norman and kind of see why he's on this team, how he got here, and all that jazz. Norman, well, first off, we'll talk about Norman right now. Number 18 prospect in baseball, our number 2, and catcher, he is the number 3 prospect in all of baseball. He was our first rounder in 2027. We identified him early, kind of like, this is the guy we're going to go out and get, and it's the guy we went out and get. He has plus raw power. He can really hit the ball, especially against lefties as a right-handed bat. Mashes the ball, has major league power, especially on that side right now. Good throw out there from right field. Contact and plate skills are in a decent place to start. He just hits the ball hard. He is a big boy, though. Not much of an athlete, and probably makes first base being his spot long-term, but we'll get to that in a second. Contact, plate skills, a decent starting spot. I'm comfortable putting him in AA to begin, but it's one of those things where he could really take off running or he can struggle. It's kind of the thing, and we've already seen him struggle. We called him back up. We've sent him down. We've already tried to preserve him. But I feel like, again, he's at the spot where he can easily have one real good, and you see him get extra bases here as he turns this could be single into a stand-up double. Not the slowest guy at his size, but again, isn't going to really be burning people. But he has the skills where, one really good season in AA, AAA, like that could really blow up a lot of his stats. So we're really excited about what John Norman can be in our future. He has a really good glove, but he's not the best at throwing the ball. The accuracy, the arm isn't the best. Blocking isn't his strong suit either, but he does have a really, really good glove, natural soft hands, which makes us feel like, hey, maybe first base is the spot for the boy, especially if we're looking at first base as a kind of place in our organization where it doesn't have the best depth, especially after Tristan Costas, so we don't really have one. I think that Taylor Duvall guy we went out and got a guy like Tyler Soderstrom as like a project for us potentially throw out there and be a guy that can, maybe succeed Tristan Costas, or not like we're trying to move off of him right now, but John Norman being a first baseman kind of fits more into that natural progression. All right, let Costas play out this extension he just signed, and then we can move on. In this time, he has really quick swing, generates power, can really get to fastballs, and that's what I love about him. He went 3 for 9 with a double and a couple of strikeouts. Obviously had a big day in the game, getting a few RBI as well. That was John Norman. Also, DJ Les, number 10 prospect, our number 1 and catching number 1, and DJ Park, number 20th. Before we get on to the scouting, we just watched, we just did everything with the minor leagues. We're about to do the scouting before we wrap up here. Right here, I got shoulder tightness, and as we do, if you get a minor injury to a shoulder, elbow, anything with the throwing, we roll a die, or basically roll 1 to 10. You get 4 and below, you're out for the year with surgery. That is how we have the surgeries for DJ Park. Johnny Turner, he will be gone for the rest of the year. So unfortunately, Johnny Turner will be under the knife, and in doing so, we will be bringing up a new pitcher. We'll show that in just a minute. We did just recently talk about this. If someone were to go down, who's the first call? It's going to be Connolly Early. We are going to move Connolly Early up to the major leagues, and he'll be making his major league debut next time. It's probably what we're going to start with. It was his first start. Then we'll move him to the bullpen, move Simeon Wood Richardson most likely. We'll kind of play around with what we want to do with it, but this is what Connolly Early looks like statistics-wise, and he'll be getting his first taste of big league action next time. With that being said, we will be moving Lucas Braun up to AAA, and we will be moving Josh Green, I believe, up to AA to just fill in those gaps left. Now let's go check on some scouting. First, let's start off with the top 10 prospects here in this class. Major League Baseball, this is how they rank their top 10 prospects, and we've done, a little bit. These guys probably will not be here. Obviously, if you look in the left, we got pick 30, 62, 105, 135, 165, 195. So we're not really looking at too much about these guys, but just to kind of show where the class is, if they're any generational guys, whatever. Mark Brady right now looks like high contact, high fielding, high speed. We've seen this guy. We see this guy every single year, 35 times a year. Brian Woodward, we did a little bit of scouting on. Really good athlete, really good fielding. The bat might be coming along. Looks like he's dropping down, but could still be quite good. Roberto Reina, 21-year-old kid in college right now. Super high contact against left, super high vision, really good fielding. This is like your perfect second base archetype. Great contact, decent power. Looks like he's going to be a high plate skills guy and a really nice fielder. Someone's going to get a really good player here. Damian Villanueva looks like he could be the best raw prospect, but again, still in that archetype. Will he stick at shortstop with the low fielding? Who knows? Teddy Penn, the first pitcher on the market here in number 5. Our number 2 guy. High walks per nine, which is a super valuable stat. Really high stamina, looks like can throw the ball very hard, has a cutter, changeup, curveball to go along with his four-seamer, with the curveball potentially being an elite type pitch. Jonah Lockwood, 19-year-old, same thing, super good walks per nine, high stamina, 5-pitch mix with no fastball. The cutter and sinker, I guess, but has a changeup, a curveball, a slider. Very weird pitcher here in Jonah Lockwood from Vermont. Very weird pitcher right there. Toby Brady looks like one of those guys who'd be really good right out of the jump, but doesn't look like he's going to have the highest potential range. So this guy looks probably going to be like a high C overall, high C potential. Contact, awesome, great against lefties. Very interesting cat we see here. I'm very interested in what he ends up being when it's all said and done. Marty Klein, kind of more on the traditional, a little bit less overall. Power hitting shortstop, it looks like. Good contact against lefties, but her power against righties. From Massachusetts. Shout out Marty from Massachusetts. We're going to say he is from Lowell, Massachusetts. Shout out Lowell, Massachusetts native Marty Klein. Very good speed, really big arm. Can play second base as well. We have him a little bit scouted as well. Roger McDermott is the number 9 overall prospect from baseball. Fielding across the board and speed looks like it's top tier. Bat, secondary. And then Willis Hand here, a Missouri-born center fielder. Looks like big pop, big righty bat. Looks a little interesting. Maybe I throw a hat in the ring, see if he falls, but he does look pretty cool. Some other guys here, the high schoolers with the big potential are coming up, and now let's check on some of the guys that we are looking at, or maybe our team rankings. Anyone different here? Anyone new? We have Reina 1, Penn 2, Mark Brady 3, Villanueva ranked 4, Lockwood 5, Toby Brady 6, Marty Klein 7, Raj McDermott 8, Willis Hand 9, and then Tim Warren, another big power bat, lefty, good speed, and high schooler, has all the potential. So again, let's look at some guys that we have scouted and some guys that early on, again, not going to be too many guys right here. Maybe next episode, the episode after, we have kind of a bigger scouting episode. But let's check out who we like so far in the first couple of weeks. At position here, we look like we have Sean List, someone that we have scouted and discovered, ranked 29 right now. 5-pitch mix, fastball, sinker, changeup, slider, and sweeping curve. High walks per 9. This is a guy that we could probably get later on in the draft with our second pick or so. Looks like he's going to have pretty good potential and actually could be a decent starting overall. The different discrepancies overall and the potential make me feel like, obviously once we get more scouting, we kind of know more where he's at. I kind of see this guy as maybe the 85 overall potential type. We'll see where that ends up. But Sean List, as we do a really big scouting on pitchers. Sean List, the first guy we kind of found that we really like. Other guys we see on our board that we kind of like. Enrique Rosales, we have him 30th, MLB 63rd. And then we have Sylvester Conklin here, our 40th, MLB's 76th. So already we're kind of just laying the foundation of our pitchers. Those are a couple that we can kind of get as steals and gems later on. One catcher that caught my eye is Steven Dickens. So talking in the John Norman video, I said maybe first base is more of his spot, and that means we kind of need another catcher. And with almost fully scouted Stephen Dickens right here, gonna have high potential no matter what. Gonna be a good player no matter what, but another guy we're gonna have to wait for. I would definitely not mind taking him with our second pick, our 82nd ranked prospect, MLB's 82nd. MLB were 84. Can play third base. Again, kind of look at the potential. These ratings can be boosted higher. But I like Stephon Dickens here. In the outfield, and we have about 30 or so percent scouted on a decent amount of these guys. One right here, Michael Ramo, seems very, very interesting. Looks like he's going to have really high potential, and probably we're going to fully scout him in this next wave. Can't play first base in the outfield. We do want a nice outfield prospect. I feel like that's the one position we have Joe Swift, and really that's it. And Michael Ramo looks really, really good. And the second guy we have fully scouted so far is Woody Bernard. He is 81 to 93 potential. Looks really nice. A left-handed bat out of Indiana. High arm strength, high speed. And it looks like the bat is going to be very moldable and just won't have really good power versus lefties. But that's really all it is. We're going to start another wave of scouting, and we'll have a couple more guys ready to go when we see you next time. All right, in the time we were away, the mice, they played. So look at that. The Boston Red Sox organization, they did well in their week that we were not focusing on them. And we will have a World Series matchup later on. And then after that, we're going to have the debut of Connolly Early here against Cleveland. And then probably playing one or two more one game around here. Maybe we split June up into 2 parts, but we'll see. Anyway, thank you for joining us here on Tisbury 33 Games. 5.5 out of the division right now. Still going strong. We will see you next time. We'll see how Boston looks as we head to the trade deadline coming up shortly, and we'll kind of be figuring out who's going to be on our plans and what we need to do to get back into the driver's seat. We'll see you next time. Everyone, make sure to like, subscribe, all that big fun stuff. We'll see you next time.